if you've been watching the news, you have seen the Terry Nichols murder by the police officers. And what we're going to do, we're going to go into all that with the word, though, using the word to navigate through this situation, these things that keep coming up. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to get this stream working correctly. Like I said, I'm working with some new hardware and just trying to get things working correctly. Hopefully this stuff isn't too complicated, this new hardware I got. But anyway, so the title of the show is Biblical Answers to the Tyre Nichols murder, okay? And I see Byron put, said it's 10:10, but I just want to confirm 100. How is the audio? Let me know how the audio is, okay? And we'll be good, and then we're gonna move forward. Okay, everybody's coming in and saying the audio is fine, so we're gonna press forward. So I'm gonna just briefly read through kind of what happened, and then we're gonna just, we're gonna get into this thing. So basically, I'm gonna read kind of the story kind of leading up to it. Officers told Wells her son was arrested for a DUI, okay, pepper sprayed and tased. Because of that, they said he was going to the hospital and would later be taken to booking at the police station, she said. So that's what the officers told her. That, so because I was wondering what led up to them pulling him over. Because the way the videos start, they're pulling him over, ripping him out the car. But you really don't see what led up to them pulling over. Most of the videos I saw, they're just running up on a car, get out the car, and ripping them out the car. It says on January 7th, around 8:30, Memphis officers pulled over a vehicle for suspected reckless driving, according to a statement from the Memphis police. A confrontation occurred between officers, vehicle, and y'all know the rest of it. Y'all seen the video. It says some backgrounds. At least 2 of the officers charged in Nichols' death were members of Memphis's Scorpion Unit, street crimes operation to restore peace, blah, 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 and all this other crap. So basically, they're members of this, police unit. And I was watching some things, and basically to become a member of these police drug special teams, these drug units and all that stuff like that, you have to be very aggressive and be willing to bend the rules and do this, that, and the other. So, but we're gonna get into this, okay? We're gonna just break this down. Every time there's one of these major police, murders or whatever that happen, every time this happens, I come on here and I go through these same scriptures because, and what we're going to do, we're going to go through this, and, what we have to do, especially in this day, in this time, in this hour, is we got to diligently adhere to the word of the Most High Yah, okay? We have to diligently stick to this thing because it is how we're going to navigate through the tricks and traps of the enemy, okay? So, first verse we're going to read is Ecclesiasticus, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 9, verse 13. It says, keep thee far from the man that have the power to kill. so shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. Okay? And if thou come upon him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Remember that thou goest into the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city. Okay? And that goes back to that other video that I did, where, you know, we have to be vigilant. We have to be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. There's a certain way you got to navigate out here, because don't let your guard down. You are in the land of your enemy. Okay? I have had many run-ins with the cops. Okay? And I'll tell you about some of them. Part of the reasons, because back when I was, you know, because I was an auto mechanic and I used to work on cars, and I used to love racing and going fast. And man, when I was in Georgia, shoot, I got pulled over, arrested, and tickets over 20 times. I must, shoot, probably more than that. You know, arrested for drinking and driving, racing. I blew past a cop. He was sitting there parked. I blew past him doing like 110. And as soon as I seen him, I was like, I started slowing down and pulling over, because I was like, I ain't even going to try to outrun this dude. And I'll tell you, we're going to go through all that and how I navigated through that. I had a run-in with a very aggressive cop. I remember one time I was leaving work, and I don't know what I did. Either I was going a little over the speed limit, or I didn't stop at a stop sign or something. But this cop pulled me over, and he was like, the way he was talking to me, like, blah, 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 blah. And I could tell by the way he was talking to me, he's trying to provoke me. He's a big dude. And so the next day when I went into work, this is when I was in the Air National Guard, I went into work, and there's a cop who worked there with us. He would come in on the weekends, because, you know, that's how the Air National Guard is or whatever. And I told him about what happened. I said, yo, this dude seemed like he's trying to provoke me and get me to get into like an altercation with him. And he was like, yep, because I described what he looked like. He's like, yep, that's the way that dude is, man. He got a ton of altercations under his belt and all that. But again, we have to be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. We got to navigate through this thing using biblical wisdom. And it says, keep thee far from the man that have the power to kill. These police, they have the power to kill. One of the things we need to take into account, like you watch that woman, the police chief, get up there and talk about, you know, she's up there, oh yeah, this is terrible, this, that, and other. Man, them dudes been doing that type of stuff. Dude, they been beating mugs down. That group of police officers right there, they've been doing this, and she know what's going on. Man, they've been terrorizing people out there. Okay? This stuff been going down. Only reason this came to light is because he died. If he didn't die, that they would have just booked him, and he would have been another forgotten about individual. But because he died and an investigation was launched, everything got brought to light. So that wicked ass female police chief or whatever, and everybody from the top down from that, they wicked as hell. They got hundreds of videos of them wearing people out like this, man. So this stuff, don't get it twisted. These people are wicked. And we have to be, again, we have to use wisdom navigating through this. I remember one of the videos, check this out, y'all. There was some type of situation that happened a while back, and I did one of these videos on here, same thing, going through these same scriptures. How about this dude came on my show the next day, came in the comments, or no, he emailed me. He was like, Brother Israel, he was like, I was walking through my neighborhood the same day after I watched your video. He went out of his neighborhood, went for a walk through his neighborhood, and here come the cops, pulled up on him. And he remembered what I said in his video, because in his mind, he would always go back and forth with the police. And he remembered what I said in this video. And he didn't pop off on him. He showed him that his ID, gave them what they needed to see, and they left, and he kept walking. Because, you know, they were harassing him and everything, and he didn't pop off. I'm telling you, there's easily over 25 interactions with these police officers, and never once got into it. I remember another time I was up in New York City, going to the Bronx. This is back in my day when I was wilding out, but heading up to the Bronx, and I had a 40 ounce of, this is in the 90s. So this is when they were trying to clean New York up. So the cops, they had pulled the, whatever you want to call it, off them. They had unleashed them to clean that city up. But I was in the subway in the Bronx, got off the train drinking a 40 ounce of malt liquor. You can't have alcohol out there, and you can't be drinking it. Man, these two cops came up on me. He's like, man, what the hell you doing? One was on this shoulder, one was on the other shoulder. Like, you can't be walking right up in here. What the hell is your problem? Pushing up on me. I was like, I didn't know. I was like, what, you want me to throw it away? Get rid of that shit. I got rid of it. Like, man, get the hell out of here. And I walked on out. It was like that, again, this verse comes in. It says, keep thee far from the man that hath the power to kill, so that thou may not doubt or fear of death. And it says, and if thou come upon him, so I did come upon him, I came upon them, they came upon me. I said, make no fault, lest he take thy life presently. They would have beat me down, thrown me in Rikers. And you know where Rikers is? You'll sit up in Rikers for months waiting for your court trial, having a fight for your life in there. Okay? So yeah. So that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? We have to use wisdom. All these stupid videos that people are putting out. Oh, yeah. Show me your ID. I don't have to show you my ID. And you going back and forth with these tricks saying, go get your supervisor. And they tell you, get out the car. I need to see a supervisor. Why are you asking me to get out the car? Y'all, I'm trying to tell you, that works on the good cops. And there's a lot of good cops out there. Or not, let's not say good cops, the non-aggressive cops, okay? That just there to collect the check, they ain't got nothing to prove. But when you come across these aggressive freak shows and you try to pull all that verbal jujitsu crap you done seen on YouTube, you can end up dead. Use wisdom. I'm reading book. It says, make no fault lest he take away thy life. Okay? Matthew chapter 5 verse 25 says, agree with thine adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Y'all, we have to use wisdom out here. We got to adhere to y'all scripts. We can't be in our feelings. It's dangerous out here. Okay? One of the other things, and I'm wanting to talk about it, we got to drive correctly. I'm working on driving even better, not driving distracted on my phone, swerving and stuff like that. There's an app or a program or something that comes on these phones. It's a driving. You can put your phone into driving mode when you're in your car, so that it's just a couple big buttons of what you might need to get to, so you ain't flipping through stuff and all that. Y'all, we gotta use wisdom. All right, here go Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 8, verse 1. It says, strive not with a mighty man, lest thou fall into his hands. Look, we can't be operating in feelings, emotions, and pride when we encounter the enemy. Okay? And like my mindset is we're in an enemy occupation. You know, we've been in the enemy has occupied us. You know, we as Hebrews and everything, we don't need police patrolling our neighborhoods. And when I say our neighborhoods, I'm not talking about these subdivisions around here. The end goal, our mindset is come together, get land, come together, and have our own neighborhood with our brothers, our real neighbors, like-minded believers there. We don't need heathens on in our neighborhood, patrolling it, and not patrolling it, controlling it. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to y'all? It will, because I'm going to go in deeper in this, because I'm giving the answers, biblical answers on what needs to happen in these types of situations. Okay? Because, look, that video, man, it is sad. It is pathetic. It makes me angry. I tell you what, one of the things that sparked me into action was that Philando Castile shooting that happened, where they shot the man in front of his daughter. He was trying to pull out his ID. Again, he got confused. It's like, man, listen, when you are around these police officers, you need to be locked in. You need to be locked in like you are in a life or death situation, because you are in a life or death situation. It's real talk. I'm telling you, Corey could tell you, man, when we were coming back from a wedding, and this is a while back, and we driving, heading home, and boom, we see the lights go on. I got my daughters in the car, my wife in the car. As soon as I seen them police lights come on, started putting the window down. I put all the windows down. Started slowing down, pulling over, and before the car stopped, I had the insurance and all that stuff out, so I ain't got to go in no compartments. And when he came up, I was sitting there just like this. Well, here, you can't see it. Sitting there just like this with my hands like this in my lap so he could see him. All the windows open. He walked up on the car, and he's at peace because he could see everything. And he said, "Sir, do you know you were going 10 over the speed limit?" I was like, I wasn't paying attention, but no, I did not know. He was like, give me your blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Boom. Gave it all to him. He came back, warning. He asked where I was going. I was like, we're on our way home from a wedding. Just trying to get home, go to sleep. You know, we ain't up to no. Boom. Let me go. It's all because we got to use some common sense. They got they army on call. and all their weapons on them. You know what I'm saying? I got my family with me. You know what I'm saying? I go in there, I don't have to tell you where I'm going. No, I wasn't speeding. Prove it. It's like, nah, man. You can't be a soft retard out here when it's just basic book on how we need to operate. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, these people, man, dude, if you go into law enforcement, like me, for instance, I went in the military. But I know why I'm in the military. I'm in the military to get some paper, get some benefits, get some training. I give a damn about who America's going around terrorizing. But there are other people that go in the military. They fully drink the Kool-Aid and assimilate fully into it. And it's like, yo, it's the same thing with police officers. You got people that go into the police and they're there to get a check, enjoy the benefits, this, that, and the other. Then you got other people that go in, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to get these lawbreakers. These people going to kneel before my power. And then you got other people go in there, and the FBI documented this, that these racist organizations like the KKK, the FBI documented how they had told what they're doing is going underground, taking off the sheets, and putting on uniforms in different areas in municipalities where they can come in to your neighborhood and you have an enemy occupation. So to go out there and act dumb, you know what I'm saying? And then we're going to get into these black police officers who envy their oppressors. We're going to get into that too. But this is what we have to stress the most. We have to use wisdom. You have to navigate carefully. You can't buy into the thing that, oh, it's a free country and everybody loves me. Man, you out here, people hate you. They want to kill you. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? People are submitted to Satan 100 out here. Clearly, them men out there were demonically possessed. You know what I'm saying? 100. Like, clearly, them mugs was full of demons. 1,000. And if you don't think they were, I mean, because that thing will take you over when you, like, if you you think about how that goes, you get into the who, there's a type of person that wants to go into that. I'm not saying they off. Like, people, those are warriors. So men who want to go into these high-risk jobs, like be on SWAT, be in Scorpion units. That was those special elite drug units. These are the same people who want to go into the military, go into special forces units, stuff like that. These are the same people who want to do MMA boxing, and they want to play sports, football, stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. As a nation, if we were a nation, those would be our warriors who defend our nation. But because we have not gathered ourselves together, O nation not desired, these types of people, all their skills and ability that y'all blessed them with has went to serve the enemy. It's went to waste. So it didn't, where those people would come on a community and be the people who would want to be on security and do different things that involve what they like doing, like being aggressive and stuff like that. There is a place for that in this feminized society. But what happens, because we're not obedient to Yah, we we envy our oppressor, and because we join the Babylon nation And look what they got us doing. They got us. We don't know whether we going or coming. We beating our own people down. It's confusion. It's sin. It's sin. And we're sin. Transgression of the law. We're sin. Not doing what the book said. The book tells us to gather ourselves together, O nation not desired. It didn't say, you know, get on the scorpion team and beat down and kill your people, O nation not desired. It don't say that. But this is just the curses. This is just the disobedience. This is just the ignorance of Israel. Okay? We're gonna go into it more. Put a 100 up in there if y'all get where I'm coming from, if that's making sense. Okay? If that's making sense to you. Okay? All right. It says, Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. Y'all know I've been quoting it over and over. We're going to just read it. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Do y'all get that? Does that make sense to you? If it don't, watch some YouTube videos about how docile sheep are. Sends us out as sheep in the midst of wolves. He says, be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So there's a way to navigate through this thing. Okay? Man, whew, y'all, I think about some of the stuff I did. The Most High had his hand on me. But I'll say this too. There was always wisdom in me where, you know, and let me tell y'all about something. Because this is very important. When I got arrested one time. What happened, I was sitting there. I pulled off from a light. And the car I had, like I said, I like racing. So the car I had was loud, even if you weren't accelerating on it real hard. So I pulled off from a light, and this cop turned his lights on, pulled me over. And I like, sir, what's the problem? And he was like, you screeched your tires or did something when you pulled off. Let me see your license, all that stuff. So I gave it to him. He went to his car. You know, I'm being cooperative. He went to his car. He's going over all my stuff. Then he came back to the car. He's like, sir, can I ask you to step out of the car? And I was like, all right. You know, got out of the car. Boom. He's like, can you come over here? He brought me to the back of my car. He said, can you turn around? And I was like, can I turn around? He's like, sir, can you turn around? And I was like, ooh, let me do what he says. Because there's a natural inclination for you to not, it's like ingrained in you for you to not give up your freedom. I turned around, this mug handcuffed me. I was like, what the heck? He was like, my insurance was expired or something like that. Or my license had been suspended for too many tickets. Because I got 2 tickets for racing. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, whoa, you know? So I know that there's an emotion that wells up when they say, sir, can you turn around? Or they try to put the handcuffs on you. There's a natural nature in you that's like, whoa. It's like, but you, again, you can't be emotional. And again, a lot of our people are too goddamn emotional, man. They be in their feelings, and we ain't thinking. And we, especially as men, we can't be in our feelings like that. Not in this wicked ass world. It's like everything preys on your feelings. So we gotta use wisdom. I wrote here, a lot of people try to make the Bible out to be this vague religious emotionalism book. But the words in the Bible are practical knowledge that will keep you alive. It's very practical. It's not all this feel-good, vague, emotional, religious ambiguity. It's actually instruction for life. You know what I'm saying? Somebody posted, where there is strife, there is pride, but wisdom is found in those who take advice. Proverbs 13:10. That's a good one, Antonio. Yeah. And see, part of the thing, I'm gonna just tell you now, this ain't gonna sit well with everybody, but I'm just coming straight down the middle, dropping facts. Y'all, I'm coming straight down the middle, and I'm not worrying about people's feelings. Every time one of these incidents happens, every time, I look. Now look, we're going to get into how wicked this so-called law enforcement system is. It's diabolical. And let's keep it 1,000. They were a member of some Scorpion unit, which they investigate or do whatever, theft and drugs and all this stuff. Look, don't get it mixed up. Our people, the majority of our people are wicked as hell. So let's not get it twisted, okay? A lot of the people they're going after are wicked as hell, okay? But what I have to look at every time these situations occur, I have to look at, okay, where could he have messed up at? What might have been some issues? Now, I don't know all the details, okay? But and I'm not saying, somebody deserves to die over this stuff, but the book tells you, it warns you, Yah warned you on how to behave in this captivity we're in, okay? So this dude, it was saying that he was, that they pulled him over for reckless driving, possible DUI, okay? Don't drink and drive, like obey these laws. You shouldn't be drinking and driving. I got arrested for drinking and driving, okay? And, they make you go to these classes, and I've seen some stuff, One of the things that I bear witness to, or whatever, there was a guy, he was an engineer for Georgia Power in the 80s, okay? It was a brother, it was a black dude. He was an engineer for Georgia Power in the 80s, and he would drive all over Georgia. Okay, and he said he'd occasionally have a drink while he's driving everything. He said in the 80s, he got pulled over twice, got a DUI. It was just like a speeding ticket. Well, then in the 90s, he got pulled over for a DUI, okay? And this is in the 90s. And when I saw him in 2005, or no, it was 2006 or whatever, he was just getting out of prison. Because they had changed the laws in the 90s, and he got his third, and they put his ass away. Okay? So you can't be out here playing around with the people who clearly have the power to kill. You can say whatever you want, but it's just facts. So we have to use wisdom dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? Now we're gonna get into more though, because I got the solution to all this stuff. Okay. So the other thing, check this out. We're going to go back to Sirach Ecclesiasticus, chapter 9, verse 13. It says, keep thee far from the man that hath the power to kill, so that thou not doubt the fear of death. And if thou come upon him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Remember, listen to this. Remember that thou goest into the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city. And what does the word tell us? Come out of her, my people. We don't need to be in those cities. We need to be on our land. And we need to be protecting ourselves. We're allowed to have weapons. We need to have weapons to protect ourselves. We need to police ourselves. The word tells us to police our thoughts. So if we're on community, we don't need police out there. See, this stuff is happening because our people are disobedient. Bloodline Israel are stubborn, stiff-necked, and disobedient. And our neighborhoods are some of the worst neighborhoods. But that's because, again, we envy our oppressor and we choose all of his ways. And we don't choose any of Yah's ways. And then we wonder why all these sicknesses, diseases, crime, murder, you name it, all this death is upon us. It's because we are so disobedient. The marriages, the family structure is completely upside down and torn apart, and majority of people just wicked and unwilling to do what it takes to get in line with what the book said. They will fight this book. They will battle what's in it to their own demise. All right, moving forward. It said, I put here the issues with these police. It says, envy thou not the oppressor, choose none of his ways. And they envy the oppressor. It's a pattern that you see where in the beginning, they do it to us, but then they brainwash us into doing it to ourselves. Okay? They used to catch us and enslave us. Now we got our own people catching our own people, putting them in handcuffs, taking them to jail, and enslaving them. It's a mess. They used to kill us. They used to kill our babies. They used to feed them to alligators. Now you got our own women killing their babies themselves and rapping about it. Abortion. Do I need to keep going? We go on and on with it. At the end of the day, it's not a police issue. It's the white man issue. It ain't none of that. It's us. It's Israel. It's stubborn as Israel. You the problem. We the problem. Our sin is all through the book. It's all through the book. From the beginning to the end, our stubbornness, us not listening, stiff-necked, stiff-hearted, all through the whole book. Not doing what y'all say. Stubborn, stiff-necked, stiff-hearted. Let me see what I wrote here. It said, I wrote here, the word tells us to gather ourselves together, O nation not desired. So a career path needs to take us in this direction. At first glance, a career as a police officer seems like a great way to help your community. But the policies and training, they train you to oppress and enslave your community. Through their policies, through the atmosphere and the environment there, trains you to be an enemy to your people. Okay? Especially if you get all caught up in it. So what do I have here? I have Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. Let's read that. He said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. So people are sitting out here, why? Why? This is the why. These are the biblical answers to the Tyre Nichols murder right here. This is what the book says. This is what thus saith Yah. We have forgot his way, and this is why all this stuff is happening, because it will bring it to remembrance to those who really want to know what the heck is going on. All right, let's see what else I got here. It says, what I wrote here is, the problem is not the other nations or races, it's us. We are running on corrupt software as a nation or race, whatever you want to call it, nation or race. We are a cursed nation. Why? Because we are running on the wrong software. And what we need to do is scrub that hard drive and download and install the correct software. And that's Yah's word. All right. Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 19. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my laws, but rejected it. He said he gonna bring evil upon the fruit of your thoughts. So even the ideas you come up with are going to be evil and just destroy you. We have to come back to the Most High. And we're going to get into that, because that is like a cliche type saying where everybody just throw that out there loosely. And they don't understand the weight. They don't understand the weight of what that means, of those words. They just kind of, yeah, we need to get back to Yah, you know, but they don't get it. Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 9 through 10. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them. And I'm just reading through the whole thing to get to this one part. It says, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, and unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. And how do we know the people who hate Yah are the ones that don't do what he says? That's why you don't see me being this sugary, oh, hallelujah, hallelujah, praise Yah, and all this stuff, and putting on this religious show for people. No, I just battle to do what he says, man. To do what this book said, because I get it, y'all. I get it on a deep level, man. The Most High just trying to keep us alive from destroying ourselves out here and our families. And it's straight warfare out here. It is straight spiritual combat out here this dead season, y'all. No joke. It says, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. And what we're seeing, hey, bless you, Pastor Mayor. Good to see you in there. Hey, y'all was getting it on that Lions Den, man. That was on. Y'all check out that last Lions Den. All you gotta do is go on YouTube and type in Straightway Indie, and y'all can check out that last Lions Den they did, boy. They've been on it. But yeah, it's like this thing is not complicated, but we have to use wisdom out here navigating through this thing. And what I was saying is because, hey, I'm watching this thing, man, it's just getting more and more diabolical, wickeder and wickeder, you know. And it's like, and just like our people, they getting wickeder and wickeder. The ones that are choosing not to be obedient to the Most High, they're getting wickeder and wickeder. But we're gonna get into, we got a little more. We're gonna get into the nucleus of the solution and the answer to what's going on. But yeah, what you're saying, our people are getting wickeder and wickeder. I see it out there. You know, we be out there. We work around some of the around a lot of people in the next generation coming up, and whew, it's scary to say the least. Okay, it's scary to say the least. And for so-called law enforcement, in order to meet this whole new level of rebellion or whatever you want to call it with this new generation, they're gonna have to get wickeder. You know, because look, they ain't doing it the books way. The book, you read the book, it tell you, man, you got a son that won't go in the right direction. It tells you in the Old Testament there. It said, take him to the outside of the city and rock nap that mug. Put him down. You know what I'm saying? The book ain't playing. And it's like, early on when I was in Christianity, I was like, yeah, that's a little harsh. That's weird. That's weird. But then now, after dealing with Israel, after seeing the way our people are, and seeing the wickedness and all that, it's like, man, this makes perfect sense. You know, put that mug to sleep with rocks. Give him a rock nap. That works, you know. But, you know, it's what it is. So let's get into briefly what we need to do. Well, the word tells us to come out of her, my people. It says, envy not your oppressor. It says, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. And it don't say just talk about that and this, that, and the other. We need to actually do it. We need to come together and have all things in common. We need to buy land out away from these crazy cities and towns and all this stuff and live set apart among each other. Right, doing that right there eliminates 80 to 90% of all the craziness and silliness you see going on out here. Coming out of her in every way, educationally, homeschooling your children, financially, economically, come together with saints, doing your own business as a community, you know what I'm saying? Socially or relationshiply, whatever you want to call it, marriage-wise and stuff like that. You know, the women are home, chase keepers at home. They're not out in this world drinking the poison culture that's designed to just destroy a woman and make turn a woman into a weapon to destroy her family and her lineage and her home and the nation. You know what I'm saying? That's what this society does. They turn the woman into a weapon to destroy the nation from the inside out. Protecting ourselves, agriculturally, providing our own food, because all the food is becoming poison. Like anywhere you look, you see the wickedness, and why we need to be obedient to the word, not just in word, but in deed. Does that make sense? So, going back and giving a true biblical perspective on the Tyre Nichols murder, on all the should nots that should have happened, is, I heard Pastor did a good video talking about we don't need to be out at night. We don't need to be in the wrong places at the wrong times around the wrong people, okay? We need to use, again, wisdom, okay? We're going to be taking measures here to avoid people having to be out at night. But we have to, like I said, we have to use wisdom. We need to be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. You know what I'm saying? And again, if I could leave y'all with one verse to stick to that will stay in your mind, it is going to be that Sirach, Ecclesiasticus chapter 9, verse 13. Keep thee far from the man that have power to kill, so shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. And if thou come upon him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city. Okay? I want y'all to remember that. And also, want y'all to remember that Matthew chapter 5, verse 25. I don't want y'all falling into these tricks where you're playing verbal games with these cops when they pull you over and you don't know who the hell, how crazy this person is, and you sitting here provoking him. It says, Matthew chapter 5, verse 25, agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Okay? Want y'all to remember that. Being around these officers, like you could be up there. Why do I have to show you that? I don't have to give you my name. And you sitting there talking to the Grand Wizard of the local Ku Klux Klan. You sit there playing word games with him in his territory, and he got the power to murk your ass. And he's like, oh, perfect. Okay, I'll call. You want me to call my supervisor? Okay, I'll call Officer Murtaugh. Can you round up the Scorpion Strike Crew and come out here? I have he'll call out some code, AB 92. Next thing you know, all of them show up. Sir, we're going to need you to get out of the car. No, because you have to show me policy. Open the door, and we don't hear nothing from you. And guess what? All their cameras broke. And we don't know what the hell happened. You know what I'm saying? So use wisdom, y'all. Use wisdom. Terry asked, what was the first scripture I read? It was Ecclesiasticus 9:13, otherwise known as Sirach 9:13. It's a book in the Apocrypha, okay? And it's 9:13, okay? That was the first one. Second one was Matthew chapter 5, verse 25. I have another one out of the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus 8, verse 1. It says, strive not with a mighty man, lest thou fall into his hands. Okay? We don't need to be out here going back and forth and everything. Matthew 10:16. This is another one I want y'all to take with you. Matthew 10:16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So again, let's be obedient to Yah's word. You know what I'm saying? Let's be obedient to what the book says. Okay? But yeah, that's how we need to navigate and move through this thing. But anyway, y'all, I hope these biblical answers to the Tyre Nichols murder, I hope they answered any questions you might have about this situation. Definitely need to use wisdom moving forward in this day and in this time. And anyway, y'all, with that said, appreciate all y'all tuning in and watching Spiritual Combat. I am Michael Israel. You are watching Spiritual Combat, and shalom, shalom.